What's happening, everybody? This is your boy Charles Wells from SWACtalk coming at you. Just want to pop in real quick and drop off a couple jewels of what my thoughts are right now with the Southern University coaching search. I'm gonna throw out a couple names that I would like to see considered. That's all this is, and one other name that is a name that's come up a lot when you talk to people who talk about this coaching search. Um, I do want to say one thing that you have to be careful about when you're getting information on this kind of thing right now is that you have to be careful on who you get information from because right now, unless somebody's a super insider at Southern University, they're not gonna have any real knowledge of what's going on because the search just started. But one of the things that I have heard so far is that they are looking to make a hire in the next week and a half or so. They have a list of candidates. I've heard up with the 15 that are serious contenders for this job. They are supposedly gonna start interviewing tomorrow or Friday. So they're moving rapidly with this, and they have not released any candidates yet. But what I wanted to do was kind of just talk about who I think should be considered and just leave it at that. But before I do that, I want to thank everybody for the support on the video I did yesterday. Tremendous, tremendous response, tremendous amount of love. So I'd like to thank y'all, and I want to continue to work and grind to get this channel to where I can be one of the top SWAC voices on YouTube. So I just wanted to thank y'all because without y'all, there is no me. I know that's cliche, but it's the truth with this. I'm one of the few people who bring you SWAC news and opinions from a legit SWAC point of view. You have a lot of people who are new to this because of Deion Sanders coming to Jackson, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am not hating on that. Whatever gets you on the SWAC train is what gets you on it. But sometimes I can see things from a perspective of being around this for a long time. So I just like to bring a different spin. I ain't trying to be better than nobody or nothing like that. So without further ado, the first name I want to drop, and this is a name that's probably should be considered one of the top candidates just for the fact of continuity, is Lionel Washington. He's the defensive coordinator at Southern. He's been the defensive coordinator at Southern since 2018, and he has an extensive NFL background. He played in the NFL, played in college at Tulane. He played in the NFL from 2000. From 1983 to 1997. He played with the St. Louis Cardinals, the Los Angeles Raiders, the Denver Broncos, and then back one season with the Raiders. As soon as he stopped playing, he immediately got into coaching in the NFL. In 1999 to 2008, he was a defensive back coach for the Green Bay Packers, and he coached there. And then he went to Oakland to coach the Raiders from 2009 to 2010. 2011, he coached the Virginia Destroyers in the UFL under Coach Marty Schottenheimer. And then in 2012 to 2017, he was the defensive back coach and co-defensive coordinator at Tulane. And Coach Odoms brought him on in 2018 to be the defensive coordinator at Southern. So obviously, one of the first things that people are gonna say when you name a guy like this is he doesn't have any head coach experience. Well, obviously most people who move up for coordinator will not, but he is a guy who's already in the program. He's already at the school. He already understands how this program is, the direction that it's heading, and how it's going that way. And he already has continuity. You probably can keep a lot of the staff and so, in a coaching team, you need to have some sort of continuity, unless there's like a toxic environment, and that's not here. So it's a situation where if you go that route, you're more equipped to have a more consistent changeover. Basically the same situation when Odoms took over in 2012. You can allow him to be the interim from now and coach the 2021 season and then make that be like a tryout, so to speak. And you can really vet candidates over that point in time or whatever, and have somebody come in later, in a more appropriate time period for a new coach because obviously there's not much time in this. So to me, that's the safest move. I'm not saying it's the best move. I'm not saying it's the move they're gonna make, but to me, that's the safest move. And it obviously is not sexy to anybody because he's not a a quote unquote big name, but he's a guy that knows the program, that's already around the program, and somebody that can help the program maintain what it is. Um, the next name I like to throw out is and this is all all my opinion. Um, uh, um, Jabar Juluke. He is the running back coach and assistant head coach at Louisiana Lafayette. He's been there since 2008, 2017, I believe. And I really, if you know anything about ULL, they have a tremendous running attack. They have for the last 2 or 3, 4 years, and obviously that fits into what Southern does. Southern is a running team, so you have a coach that comes in with that kind of mentality that definitely going to help. He coached at Texas Tech. He coached at LSU in 2016. He actually coached Leonard Fournette at LSU. He coached at Louisiana Tech, coached them to as one of the coaches. He helped that team get to back-to-back bowl games and back-to-back 9-win seasons. He coached at Edna Carr in New Orleans, head coach. He led that team to multiple district championships and 2 state runner-ups. He um he served as defensive coordinator at Frederick Douglass High School in New Orleans. He also coached wide receivers at Brother Martin in New Orleans. He began his career at McKinley High School in Baton Rouge in '95 before going to New Orleans to coach at O.P. Walker and St. Augustine. He's a former Southern player. He played on the 1993 11-1 SWAC championship and Black National Championship winning team, Heritage Bowl winning team. He also played 1 year on the basketball team at Southern. So that's a Southern guy. I mean, obviously if you're looking for a guy that knows what Southern is about, that knows what coaching in Louisiana is about, who knows what recruiting in Louisiana is about, is a guy like that. Now, obviously, you have to take into account what he's making at ULL, and if he will be willing to jump to a head coaching position at Southern. Obviously, that's something that you would have to kick the tires on just to see. I mean, hey, I feel like a guy like that you have to talk to and make him tell you no, and that just to a is out of respect because you always want to respect anybody that comes from your program that does great things, so you want to definitely show him that you acknowledging what he's doing, and keep that door open because maybe if not now, maybe in the future, hopefully not the near future, but hopefully in the future. Just say for instance, if you did hire Coach Washington as interim, and you decide you want to go another way, you keep this guy in mind. He might change his mind and come on later. So that's a name to take a look out for. And the final name that I'm gonna throw out right now, and I'll probably come back with more names. Or if I start to hear names, I'll talk about them a little bit. This is a name that a lot of people around Baton Rouge probably have heard on and off about the Southern job for the last 2 or 3 years, and that's Eric Dooley from Prairie View. He's the head coach at Prairie View. He played at Grambling. He's a SWAC guy basically his whole career. He played at Grambling. He coached at Southern. He began his coaching career at Southern in 1997 to 2010. He was assistant coach, quarter receivers, running backs, I believe. 2011 to 2011 to 2013, he was the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator at Arkansas Pine Bluff. They actually won the SWAC championship in 2012 under his watch, with Ben Anderson as quarterback. From 2014 to 2017, he was the coach at Grambling. 2014, he was offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at Grambling. 2015, he was the offensive coordinator at Grambling. 2016 to 2017, he was the offensive coordinator and wide receiver coach at Grambling. And if you look at what those Grambling teams did in that time, that's basically the Project Fobbs era. They won a couple championships in a row. They played for like 3 or 4 championships. They had Devontae Kincaid, Martez Carter, a gang of receivers, Chester Rogers, and a whole bunch of other guys. That offense was prolific. So he definitely understands offense. And then he took over at Prairie View in 2018, and he's in his 3rd year now. And Prairie View has always been an offensive team, and it exploded honestly in 2018 and 2019 under Coach Dooley with Jalen Morton and Dewanye Tucker. The offense took a step back this year. They lost a lot of guys, and so they a shortened COVID season. They didn't really play great offense, but they did improve their defense, and that's one thing that I really think that is important to take into account with a coach like that because he's an offensive minded coach, and Prairie View hasn't really had stout defenses over the years, but that's something that they did work to improve. The one minus that I would throw in, and this is strictly me, um, his Prairie View teams weren't the most disciplined teams. They got a lot of uh, penalties for undisciplined play, and they didn't always play the cleanest football. So I would be a little hesitant with that. But he's again a Southern guy. He understands what coaching at Southern is. Um, Obviously, he coached at Southern a long time, so he understands what Southern's about. He understands what the SWAC is about. And a lot of people always holler about retreads. He's still as a coach, as a head coach, he's still fresh in it. This is only his third year, so to me it's okay to make a jump from one SWAC school to another. With a guy like that because he's still heading up the ropes. But I guess that's something that that's somebody that you could take into account. But then I guess you could also throw in one more negative, and it may be a big one for some people. Prairie View is currently under APR sanctions, so that's not a good look for a coach to you know be on the sanctions at one school and look to move to another school. But that's something that has to be taken into account because Southern has got out of the shadow of APR sanctions and now the program is selling in a good direction. So I just wanted to hop in and drop a couple names. If y'all got any more names, drop them in the comments. I know in my last video I saw Eric Randall was another name. I'm gonna drop a little bit on him a little bit later when I get a couple more names to go with it. But he's a Southern former quarterback at Southern, coached high school football all around Baton Rouge. So he's a guy that definitely knows the area and knows the school and knows what it takes to coach in this city. So that's another name that you can consider. Um, and that's gonna do it for today. The socials are down in the link in the description. All the links of the socials are down there. Click them, check everything out. Podcast. I'm not gonna do a show today. I'll probably do a show on Sunday. All games are canceled this week because they just gonna go ahead and move forward with the SWAC championship. The game will be played in Jackson, Mississippi, a neutral site instead of at either UAPB or Alabama A&M because the Alabama A&M Valley game was canceled. That kind of messed up all the tiebreakers, so they said they'll play it in a neutral area in Jackson. So the game is May 1st in Jackson. So I'll be back on podcast on Sunday. I don't know what I'm talking about yet, but I'll come up with something. Podcast can be heard on anchor.fm/SWACtalk, or you can check it out on Spotify, Stitcher, Breaker, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to get alerted to any content that I drop. And I will be dropping some videos quite frequently with this coaching search going on, and also with the SWAC championship game coming up next week. I'm gonna do another SWAC Talk Time Machine episode next Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. And that's it, man. I'm about to dip up out of here, man. I hope everybody have a good Wednesday, and I'll see y'all around, man. I'ma holla at you.